Circa Survivor 3 started with 6,133 entries, and in the span of just 7 weeks, they are down to 125 entries. 6 of those entries, the max allowed, belong to one man. His name is Bob DeLuca. He's from Crush'em Sports, and he's kind enough to join us this morning. Good morning, Bob. Appreciate it, man.
Good morning, Gill. Good morning, Kelley. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it very much. Let me just start by sort of asking you this: how many years have you been playing Survivor pools?
I've been playing since the start of Circa. I've been in all 3 Circa.
You never played a Survivor pool before Circa's 3 years?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. So, and how did you do in the first couple years?
First year I was out in week 1. Second year I was out in week 1 and 3.
Okay. So you come into this year, and again, we talked about how, some people had 30 entries, some people had 20 entries, that sort of thing. But you played this kosher. You went with 6 entries. And you, before the season, now what you have done, let's just start with what you have done so far, and then I'll get back to your thinking before the season and what you're thinking now. You have played it one team with all 6 of your entries thus far. Week 1, you had the Eagles. They ended up beating the Lions 38-35. Week 2, you had the Packers. They coasted by the Bears 27-10. Week 3, you had the Bears over the Texans this year. That was the game people remember. It was nip and tuck, and then Roquan Smith had the pick at the end to set up the Bears' game-winning field goal, so that was a tight one. Week 4, you had the Giants, 20-12 winners over the Bears. Week 5, the Buccaneers, who led the Falcons 21-0, and then 15 points furiously from the Falcons, and then that ridiculous roughing the passer penalty, which sort of sealed it for the Buccaneers that day. Week 6, the Chargers in overtime Monday night over the Broncos. That was the game that looked like it could be a tie, looked like the Chargers could lose. You end up getting that one on, I believe, was it the muffed punt? I believe that sealed the deal there on that one. And then the Raiders this week. Just talk me through the Raiders, first of all. What led you to the Raiders this past week as opposed to the Patriots or the Buccaneers you already used, but as opposed to the Patriots? Why'd you go Raiders?
I went with the Raiders because I counted on the Texans. I counted on David Mills tossing a touchdown that would hurt that team, tossing an interception during the game, which he did in the Bears game in week 3 with 18 seconds left when they were deep in their own zone. So I really don't consider Houston to be that good of a team. I thought that the Raiders could run on them. Of course, you're always nervous when you're using Derek Carr, but he came through for us in the end.
Okay,
and I got that interception. David knows.
You sure did. Let me ask you. Before the season started, you had your 6 entries. Was it your plan to go one pick on all 6 entries? On all 6 entries moving forward, was that like your North Star for this?
Plan was to go all in 6 for the first 4 weeks, and then once I got past week 3 with the 18-second interception, I managed to get to week 6 all in, and then by the time I hit week 6, I felt that I can get through week 8 with no problem.
So you plan on this week, because this week is week 8. You plan on going one team for all 6 entries again.
Right now, that's the plan, but when the huge upset happened Monday night and we dropped the number to 125, as comfortable as I feel about the selection I have for week 8, I'm starting to look to maybe start spreading out. I'd hate to get this far and hit the number and then crash and burn.
Yeah, because, Bob, this is what I was going to say. Now, and I'll preface this by saying, because I've had experience, I was telling everybody yesterday on the air that once I got really far into Survivor, and then my buddy Rufus is on the Megapod tomorrow. He was like, hey, this is who you should pick. And I was like, excuse me, was it me who got this far or you, right? So I hesitate because I had 5 entries and I'm out. You have 6 and you're in. So I am no person to tell you what to do. But you do realize, and I guess by what you're saying, you are indicating that you do, that it's one thing to have all 6 of your entries when it's 6,133 total. But now that it's 6 entries with only 125 left, meaning you are just shy, Bob, of having 5% of the remaining entries in the pool, that you are the man in the driver's seat. You control this thing. Everybody else can't really grasp a victory as long as you've got the advantage like this. So you are seriously considering finally now after 7 weeks breaking these up, but you're not 100% going to do that?
No, not yet. But I looked over. I see that there's one entrant with 3 entries, and there's 6 with 2, and everyone else has 1. So I am in the driver's seat, and it's of course how I'm going to spread them out. But I am sitting pretty good, and I think that I'm probably going to spread out. Probably going to spread out,
but not committing to it this week necessarily.
Not committing. I'm very comfortable with the pick I have.
You're very comfortable with the pick you have, so you may in fact go one entry. By the way, this I have to tell you, the other people that control the other 119 entries, they're listening to this and saying to themselves, "Oh my God, this is awesome that he's going with one pick for the remaining 6."
Well, they are.
Yeah. You recognize that. So
I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they are. Listen, I'm sure they are. Bob, let me ask you this. Now, I don't expect you to necessarily answer, but it's incumbent upon me as the guy doing this interview to ask you this. Do you care to share who that team might be?
Not really.
Okay. Good answer, Bob. Good answer. I was hoping you would answer that. Don't just recognize that I was contractually obligated to ask you that. All right. So now, are you hedging? Are you thinking about hedging with other bets as you do this now?
Yes.
Yes, you are. And if you play one team on these remaining 6, I assume you will do that this week?
Yes, I will.
Okay. And you're clearly not a superstitious guy, right? Because you're willing to come on this show. When I asked you to come on, was there a thought in your head that said to yourself, where you said to yourself, boy, I don't know, this has gone so well. Maybe if I come on a show, somehow the karmic universe will come against me. Any of that?
No, I was happy to come on the show. I think you're going to be good luck for me.
Oh, thank you, Bob. That's appreciated. Now, Bob, if you lose, are you blaming us? That's the next question.
No, I can only blame myself.
Okay, you can only blame yourself. All right. Let me just ask you from a standpoint then now of, moving just your general thoughts on this contest. Do you feel like that it has mainly been your impeccable choices, or that this has been really as much just luck as it is skill for you, that it's been more of an avoidance of a minefield than it has been your strategy? Or do you think it's equal parts?
I think I've avoided a few minefields. I was correct. I made a few changes as I got close, and I did avoid some minefields. And I think I'm good at what I do, and I have a very high risk tolerance.
Very high risk tolerance.
When you add that all up, I'm in risky business right now.
Yeah, no, I think a high risk tolerance is absolutely something that'll, that not only do a lot of people not have, but a lot of people can't grasp that others do have. Last question, because I got to run. You are not saying you're going to spread them out this week with 100% certainty. You may use all entries on one team this week. Can you guarantee us that if you use all on one team this week, that you will spread them out next week, or are you saying you might do it next week as well?
Week 9 is very tough. I've been looking at week 9, hoping to get past week 8, of course. Week 9 looks tough. I'll attack that when I get to it, if I reach it. But right now, I still have to get past week 8, and let's hope I do.
Bob, we wish you luck. I hope you do as well. Great to have you. I appreciate you coming on. And good luck, man. $6 million.
Go
We're
get
all rooting
Bob.
for you, Bob. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Kelley.
Bob DeLuca, everybody, from Crush 'em Sports.
That's awesome.
It sounded like he's going all in again this week.
I like
with
it.
a one team.
Do it, Bobby. Let's go.
I had to ask. I knew he wasn't going to answer, but I was like, well, you care to share that team? Had to. Good for him. It sounds like one team this week, and then maybe spread them out next week. I think that's what he's leaning.
I said I was going all 6 on some big dog.
Bob DeLuca, Crush 'em Sports, 6 out of 125 left.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.